Makeover Monday, Watch Me Viz. This time we are here for week 15 of 2024. My name is Andy Kriebel. In these sessions, I take the original visualization, have a little bit of an explore of the data before coming up with my own chart or dashboard or whatever I can find. A lot of times I start by trying to rebuild the original. I'll go through the article that the source is from, try to understand it a bit more. And if you have any questions along the way, please feel free to leave them in the chat. I can look to my side here like I am now, and I can see any questions that you might have. So feel free to pop them in the chat, and I'll do my best to answer them along the way. Great. Okay, so let me share my screen. And the article that we're looking at today is this one here, or sorry, the chart we're looking at. UK unemployment has fallen to its lowest level since the mid-1970s. Okay, and this is, I really like this chart, actually. It's very, very simple. But one of the things that we need to look at is kind of the article overall. If you go to this article, it basically it kind of doesn't trash the conservative government, but it makes it look pretty bad because since 2010, the conservatives have been in charge, and it has not been a very good situation. So as you go through the charts, you can see we've got ballooning debt. The wait times in the NHS have gone up. Economic growth has slowed. There's underinvestment. Of course, Brexit was a complete disaster. So that's a whole nother story. Taxes are on the increase, and so on. So there's a lot of bad news, but the only good piece out of all of these 10 charts is this unemployment part. So that's what we're actually going to look at today. Hello, Monica. Hello, Jen. It's nice to have you here. All right. The data set we're looking at is just very simple. It's just the period, which is the year, and then the unemployment rate. So in Tableau, I'm going to go ahead and connect to my data source. And when I bring that up, I'm going to go ahead and rename these fields. So this is actually should be a year. And then this I'm going to call my unemployment rate. Unemployment rate. And one thing to notice here is that it says 4.1. So that is the percentage. So we're going to need to make sure that we format these numbers correctly. All right, so let's go here. And the first thing that I notice is that Tableau put the year field down here in the measures. We don't want to add up the years. We want those to be independent of each other. So let's drag that up to be a dimension. And then the unemployment rate, we want to go ahead and set the default number format to a number, to 1 decimal. And I'm going to just put the percent sign afterwards. So I'm not making it a percentage. I'm just making it look like a percentage because the first row, for example, said 4.1. I want it to look like 4.1%. Okay, so if I just recreate the original chart, I get something like this. Tableau gives me bars, which is fine. Actually, I think that looks pretty good. And there we go, right? So this is our first example. So this is our bar chart. We can, let's go ahead and duplicate that sheet and let's look at it as a line. Okay, so again, very, very simple chart. Maybe I'll label the ends of the lines, something like that. Let's do the, show the marked labels. So unemployment is pretty close to the lowest it's been since 1971. So this would be my line chart. And if I duplicate that, and let me go ahead and change the year field to continuous. So now I get an axis instead of, so if I go back to my previous sheet and you look down here at the bottom, we've got 53 columns. That's because there's 53 individual years. Where when I do continuous, it switches it to an axis. So now I only have 1 column. If you look down here again, we only have 1 column in the view. Okay, and same kind of look. Let me bring that back off the screen. So I think these look, pretty similar. So we've got that one, we've got that one. There's not really that much difference. I'll call this one line chart continuous. Continuous. Okay, so what could we do with this then? We could, let's see. So I do like the original visualization. Let me duplicate this again, but instead of the labels being on the ends, let's try the min max. Right, so we got 3.7 and 11. Okay, so that's with our min-max indicators. So I think that, why did I duplicate that? I don't know. Okay, so what I think I'm going to do is I want to be able to take any year and compare the rest of the years to that year. So this is the same here. Okay, so that's the min max. Let's duplicate the sheet. I'm going to turn my labels off now. Oh, by the way, if you want to label the ends of the lines with little circles, so back here, the ends of the lines don't have circles on them unless you hover. If you want to have circles on the ends of the lines, you turn your mark labels on, and down here in the field, make sure you pick the year field, and you'll see Tab will automatically put the year label on the end, but I can just drag my unemployment rate to the label, and now I've got nice little dots on the ends of the line. So I actually like the look of that a lot better. All right, so let me duplicate this again. And I'm going to create a set based on the year. And I'll just call it my year set. That's fine. And maybe I'll just pick, I don't know, let's pick 2012 just at random. And I'm going to go ahead and create a calculated field. I'm going to call it year from set. And I'm just going to say year set. Let's see. I don't think that will bring back a number. No, that just brings back a true false. So I want to say if year set, then year end. Okay, and I'm going to drag that onto the detail shelf here because I'm going to add it as an axis, or sorry, as a reference line. So I'm going to put my, let me cancel that. I need to, I see. I can't do that because this field needs to be continuous in order to use it on an axis. So now if I add my reference line and I make this year from set and my label, I'll put the value on there maybe. No, I probably don't even need a label. The tooltip, I'll just say none. Maybe I'll make it a dashed line or a dotted line. Let's increase that. Okay, so something like that. I'm going to untick recalculate. Okay, now what is this one dot here? Oh, it's splitting up the view. Okay, so I want to make this actually an attribute. There we go. So now it doesn't split up the line. Okay. So what I want to do now is when I click on a mark, I want it to move that reference line. Okay, so how are we going to do that? We're going to create a worksheet action. And I'm going to create a new set action. And I'll call this update year set. I want to do it only when I do a single select. The set I'm going to update is my year set. I want to assign a value, and then let's see, when I'll do keep set values for now. I might change that later. So now when I click on a mark, you'll see it moves the reference line. Okay, nice and neat. So now what I want to do is I want to get the value for that mark. So for example, here it's 6%, and I want to compare every other year to that mark. So let me duplicate this sheet just so I don't, in case I need it again later. And I'm going to create a new calculated field. I'm going to call this, I'll call it rate at set. All right, so I want to use a fixed level of detail expression here. So I'm going to say fixed on, let's see. I want to say, I guess it doesn't really matter. I could say min, and then if, no, let's see, min, what am I trying to do here? If year from set, then unemployment rate. Make this window bigger. And okay, so this is first going to get the value from the set, year from set expected. I want to say if this should just be my year set. So if I'm in the set, return my unemployment rate, and it should only return one value. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that on detail, and I'm going to add it here as a reference line. So let me put year at set, or rate at set, and I'll do the same thing. I'll format it the same way. Okay. So now as I click, I should see both those lines move. Okay. So that's good. All right. So let's edit this. I don't know if I'm going to use this or not, but I'll put the value here. And can I put the year here as well? No, I can't. Okay, so let's just put the value. Okay, and then this needs to be formatted to look like my other marks. So it's going to be a custom number, 1 decimal with a percentage sign. Again, I'm not making that a percentage. It's just a percentage sign. Okay, so now I want to compare every year to that rate at the set. So let's create a new calculated field, and let's call it variance to selected year. All right, so I'm going to say I want to compare the unemployment rate minus the rate at the set. Okay, so let me duplicate this sheet now, and I'm going to drag that onto the rows in place of the other one. And then the unemployment rate, this could, I don't need that. And then this can go now as well. Okay, so now when I click on one of these marks, you can see the axis moves. Let's make this a bar because it'll be a bit easier to see. A bar. Okay, and if I click here, you'll see everything moves. All right, great. All right, so, and I could put variance to selected on color. And what are the Tory party colors? Let's see. Let's look up the Tory Tory party colors. Blue is usually associated with the center right or conservative. Okay, political color. Just wonder if there's, okay, so we just need a blue. Okay, so let's just pick a blue. And then maybe this one we'll pick maybe a red and apply. Ooh, wow, that's way too bright. Let's try this one. Apply. Okay, there's probably a red-blue color palette. Is there a red-blue? There we go. I could just use that one, but I'm going to change this blue to be a bit stronger. Use full color range and okay. Okay, there we go. So now we can see, we click on a bar, everything moves. The problem now is that bar is highlighting, which we don't want. So I'm going to create a I'm going to create a calculated field. I'm going to call my dummy, and I'll just put dummy in quotes. And let's put that onto detail. And what I could do is I could go up here to my highlighter and choose dummy. And then every time I pick one, that bar will be highlighted temporarily until I click off. But you can see everything else looks okay, right? So that's pretty good. Now the question is, if I go to my worksheet actions, okay, so let me duplicate this. If I click on my worksheet actions, this sheet, and I edit this action, I want to remove the values from, let's see, running the action will assign, and then I want to remove. And what this should do now is it should, if I click off, it'll reset. Okay, that didn't work. Oh, that's because it becomes 0. Okay, variance to selected year. Okay, so we could say else 0, and let me make this a max. Okay, there we go. So now when I click on a bar, it adjusts. Click on a different bar to adjust, click off, and it resets. So I think that's pretty good. But what I want to have here, so I think I'm going to need to use an automatic color palette here. So let's do the red-blue diverging. If I hit apply, okay, it's always going to use that. So I want to do one of the automatic color palettes, because now when I click on one, it should give me up a diverging color palette. And if I Yeah, so that looks pretty good. Okay, so that looks good. I'm going to now duplicate that, and I'm going to try it as a line to see how it looks. So now if I click on a line, it goes there, goes there. I think I like the bar one better because you can, it's more obvious what's happening with the shift. Okay, so the variance to selected year, this should be a number custom. I'm just going to make it a percentage. So the axis looks like that. Okay. All right. So quick question. Do you like it better when, so here, or sorry, here, when I click on one, it sticks? Or do you like it better on this one, where when I click and then click off, it resets? So which one do you prefer? I'm curious to know what you think there. Okay. If we do this one, let me click on a bar. I'm just trying to think what might be a useful, if there's anything useful to add to this visualization. I think I like this one. I think I like this one better. But yeah, let me know the second one. Okay, so Jen, you like it when it resets. Okay. I just wish the color palette, right? Because if I go in here and I change the color palette to, if I switch it from something other than automatic, it forces, like, because I'd much rather have it be a blue, or sorry, a red. Now everything, yeah, see now I get which I don't want. I don't want this diverging color palette. So that's really annoying. Okay, so that's maybe what I could do is, so that goes from rate at set. So maybe what I could say is something like, maybe I could say something like, if year set. No, I don't want to do that. That's not right. I wanted to kind of like, I want to say some, okay, so let's say if the sum rate at set is, no, I want to say if that is equal to 0, then I just want to return, let's say a 1. Otherwise, I want to return this. So what I'm saying here is if this part here basically means that I've clicked off of the bar. So I'm just trying to get a single color when I click off. So let's see what happens here. Okay, so that didn't work. Okay, so let me duplicate that because that's what I'm going to use for the color. So let me get rid of that. That was dumb. Okay, let me edit this. I'll just call this one color. Let's see, variance color. And let's put that onto the color shelf. Okay, there we go. So now we get a single color, but when I click off, I get multiple colors. So I think that's better for sure. Okay, any other feedback so far? I'm pretty happy with how this is going. I want to get rid of that in the tooltip. I want to get rid of that in the tooltip. I want to get rid of that in the tooltip. Get rid of that at the tooltip. Okay, so I want to do unemployment rate should be on the tooltip. Okay. Variance to selected year. Okay, so this needs to be, I think if I set the pane to be this doesn't do the tooltip, right? So that doesn't do the tooltip. Okay. So what I'm going to do then is what I want to do is I want this axis to stay with 0 decimals, but when I hover over, I wanted to show the show the variance in a percentage as well. So I'm going to duplicate this field, and then I'm going to edit this one. I'm going to just rename this one tooltip, so I know what I'm using it for. And this one, I'm going to set the default number format to 1 decimal with a percentage. That's going to be on my tooltip. Yes, and now that looks better. And I can now take this one out of the tooltip. Okay, there we go. All right. Okay, so I think that looks pretty good. So now when I click off, I can see the difference. Okay. And I could say, so year from set. Okay, variance to, and then I could insert my year from set. Why did that not work? That should have a value. Oh, I think because I need to. No, not in the tooltip. Sorry, I've got a cold. Why is that value not showing up? Oh, you know what? I don't think I need this to be. I don't need this to be an attribute anymore. That's okay. The reference line doesn't. Oh no. Sorry. Why is this not returning a value? What the heck? Okay, so should the y-axis... oh, that's a good point. Should the y-axis be in a percentage points now that it's an absolute difference? Sorry, I'll try to mute myself when I'm going to have a terrible cough. That's a really good point. So what this would need to say then is, so it would need to be a percentage. No, it would be a percentage when they click off of something, but it's no longer the variance of the selected year. But let me see. Let me think through that. So if I click on this bar, my variance to 1980. Oh, I see. It's not. Okay, I know why the year from set isn't showing up as well. This should be a min. No, make it a max. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now we have the tooltip working, right? So when you talk about, I'm just thinking when I talk out loud, if I were to tell somebody the unemployment rate this year, let's say, is 11.4%, that's 4.6% different than 1980. So in my head, that makes sense to say it that way. But I understand where you're coming from, because it's not really percentage points difference. It's really 4.6 points different. No, yeah, percentage points. What if I rename this field percentage points? No, is this, let's see, I can, if I edit this axis, can I, okay, so I think what I could do is I could make this axis change. So I'm going to say, I'll call this my axis label. This will be my Y axis label. So I want to say if I want to say if I let's see. So let's say if, let's see, let me, I'm just going to hit OK for now. One of these calculations. Okay, so I want to say if the rate at set is 0, then I want to have this say unemployment rate. Otherwise, I want it to say percentage points variance. And so now if I, let's put that onto detail. And now if I edit my axis and I change this to, why does it not? Oh, it has to be, okay, so let's make this a attribute. And okay, so let's see if that works. Why does that not work? That's annoying. Yeah, I can't make it continuous. That's the problem. It has to be a continuous field to use on the axis. Okay, so what could I do differently then? Okay, so let me edit this again. I'll just put this as 0. And then let's make this one 1. Okay, so let's try this now. Let's change this to, oh, it's got to be an aggregate, I bet. Why is it not letting me use that? I have it as a measure. I probably should, Monica. You're right. You can calculate the relative difference. Well, yeah, so I could calculate the relative difference, but again, I can't represent it as a percentage. So that wouldn't be right, I don't think. Yeah, it would be new minus old divided by old. So that would give me the relative difference, but that's not what I'm after, because I want to be able to say that this one is, oh, I see. So if I did it your way, Yori, then I could express it as a percentage, but I don't think that's what I'm looking for. What I don't understand is why this won't come back here. I'm just curious to see what happens if I just make that. Why is that not dummy rated set year from set? Why does that field not show up? That's stupid. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. Okay, I'm just going to put this here. And I'm going to rotate the label. I'm going to edit my axis. And I'm just going to get rid of the title. Go back to the old-fashioned way. Okay, and then let me format this axis to make it black. Okay, so something like that. Now it's percentage points variance. Yeah, so I think that's probably better. So who was that says, so PQ. What do you think about this version now that I'm saying I have the title changing? I'm curious to know what your thoughts are on that. Okay, so let me format this a bit more. I'm going to get rid of my row and column dividers. I always do. I'm going to get rid of my column grid lines. I want to keep my row grid lines, but I'm going to make them maybe dotted lines so they're kind of just in the background. Let's edit this axis so that it goes, let's see, we wanted it to start at 1970 and maybe go every 5 years instead of every 10. You have to like delay now in order for it to pick up the change. Okay. So the other thing, okay, and then I'll get rid of my zero lines. I don't need, do I want my zero line? Okay, so if I change that, I don't think I really need the zero line. I think it's kind of obvious that there's a zero in the middle. The one thing I could do now is I could probably put, so if I go to the political history of the UK, we could see that I could go back and put, I can't see who was before 1979. 2010, let's see if it goes back past that. 79 to 90 is conservative. That's when yeah, and then we got to talk about Thatcher. She's an idiot. So let's create we're going to add a reference line. We're going to do a reference band. We're going to go from constant. So it's what, 1979 to 1997. None. Constant 1997. That is a long time. This would be none. And my fill, I'll do this as like a light, maybe I'll do it as like a light blue since it was the conservatives. And then I'll do some borders, maybe in something like that. Okay, so that gives me the shading. Now what I want to do is I want to, all right, so let me just keep going here. And then I can explain it later. So labor would be 97 to 2010. So let's create another reference line, another reference band, constant, no value. This would be 97 to 2010. And then they are a reddish color, so maybe I'll do like that color. It's not very red, is it? There isn't really a red color. Do I have a light red? let's just do the colors. Let's see if there's any. Maybe something like that. Oh, that's too bright. Maybe I'll just stick with that. Okay, and then from 2010 to present is conservative. Okay, so let's create another reference line. That's a band, constant, 2010 to 2023. Okay, the value is going to be none and none. And let's make the fill. I think that's the blue that I used. Yep. And then let's put the lines in there again. Okay. And then I need to look up 1979. Okay, so let's see. List of British governments. This could be long. Okay, so what is it? 70 to 74 was conservative. And then labor. Is that right? Labor to 79. Yeah, okay. So let's add another reference line. Oh, it's my dad. Constant. So let's say 1970 to none, 70 to 74. That is, again, the conservatives. And then 74 to 79. All right, so one more. Whew. Constant. 74. None. 1979. None. Line. And then this should be my, which one did I use? I think I used that one. Oops, what happened there? I could have sworn I picked a color. Okay, something like that. So now, but now I shouldn't be using, the problem now is I can't be using orange and blue here because blue represents the Torries. And I probably need to remove my reference line. Let's remove that one. Okay, because I don't think that should be blue because that represents the Torries. So now I've got a bit of a dilemma. Okay, so variance color. Let me edit this. No, that's the tooltip. Where's my color? Okay. If it's that, then I want to set it to be. Maybe I'll set it to be like -1 because then it should go orange, hopefully. But that is one terrible color, orange. Okay, let's set it to, just set it to 0 and see what happens. Sets it back to blue. Okay. Apply. Great. Okay. So I think what I need to do is I'm going to reset this to 0. And then what I want to do is I want to get the values for the max and the min, right? So we've got 11.8 is our maximum. So the largest difference is minus 8%. And then, so minus 8%. So the opposite should be true, right? So, okay, so we can go from minus 8 to 8. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is maybe I could go, and I don't want to do that. I want it to be like gray in the middle. So red, blue. Okay, let me try that. No, I don't, but I want the middle to be gray. Okay. Okay, so maybe that does it, because now we've got like a grayish color. Okay, so now let me change my palette again and try to find a better palette. Let's try this one. Apply. Oh, nope, that doesn't do it. All right, maybe I wonder if I put borders on them. But that color just does not look good. How do I change them? Maybe I'll just do red, blue, and white. Let me try that. Okay. That's not great. Let's see. So red, blue, divergent. This is probably going to get me as good as it can get. I still think I need to change this color in the background for this one. So if I change my fill, I need it to be like a reddish color, but it needs to be a very, very light red. Okay, let me just go back here. Let me pick, I'm just going to pick a red. Okay, so I'm going to go that way. That's more like purple. It's like pink. I don't want to do that. What other comments? The second, the color scale could be reversed. Higher unemployment could be worse. So maybe, yeah, that's true. That's a good point. Maybe I should go with, if I did like a black and red. So let's see, I want to do reversed. And so higher unemployment would be red. I think that's what you're saying, PQ, something like that. Higher unemployment would be worse. Okay, so let me just try picking a dark color and hit apply. Okay, this needs to be black. And then use full color range. Okay, Okay, so now if I click a bar, I click off, it still goes back to that. I'm wondering if I should, I do like how it resets. I just don't like how the bars are getting this grayish color. It just doesn't look good. Okay, let me try something else here. Oh, I have an idea. Okay, so I'm going to variance to selected year. Okay, let me duplicate this, and I'm going to call this my unemployment rate no set. All right, so I want this to be that. I want to say if the rate at set equals 0, then I want to return the unemployment rate. And okay, so I'm going to put this on the right axis, and I'm going to move them to the, okay, so then this is, let's get rid of the color on that. And now let me edit this axis, get rid of the title, synchronize, and then hide. Okay, so now if I click a bar, there we go. That'll do it. So what I did on the second axis was I just used no color basically. So I could just change this to be, you know, I don't know, maybe just a black. And let's put no border on that one. And then this one, we wouldn't need a border anymore either. There we go. I think I've got it. So let's click on that. Okay. So I believe the labor government. So yeah, so labor is blue. All right. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to let me edit these colors again. So let's format that, and I want to pick a color. I'm just curious to see how this is going to look if I pick this color. Let's do the same thing here. Edit reference line 19. Okay, so this one should be blue. I think that blue is okay. I want to, this one starts at 97, reference line 97 to 2010. I want to pick that one. Is that right? No, this one. Okay, something like that. So that could give me the at least the backgrounds for the parties, because I think this blue is going to be, I could try this blue. Let's just see what happens. Let's 70, and I'm going to pick that color from here. Oh, that's okay. Yeah, and then this one would be 1979 to 97. This would be the blue. And then the third one, it would be 2010 to 2023, and the blue. Okay. So there we go. The only problem now is I've got red, which I shouldn't have red for bad in this case, because it might get confused with labor. Okay. So I need to now use a different color for that. Wonder if I just used maybe like a purplish color. Let me just try that. And I could maybe untick that. I just don't want it to get confused with any of the other between the two parties. All right, I think I think I'm okay with that. All right, so let me format the workbook now. And I'm going to change the font because I don't want to use the type of my font of the day is currently Now, because that's what I'm using in all of my carousels on LinkedIn. And if you're not following me on LinkedIn, you should, because I've been posting tons and tons of tutorials and carousels on LinkedIn that you would probably find valuable. So my marks here, so this should be fixed. No. Yep. So that should be like that. And then let's make these borders white. So we should be using a continuous axis here so that the bars get divided properly. Okay, so the variance 2, that doesn't look right. I'm not a huge fan of the purple, but I don't know what else to use. This black is probably too dark. That's probably better. So use that one. Yeah, that's pretty good. That one's good. But I don't know if I have much of a choice otherwise. So any color suggestions you have? Because like the problem now is if I click on this one, the purple just looks like crap with the, what color is in the middle of red and blue? Let's see. Where's my color wheel? All right, so let's look at a color wheel. Complementary, so red and blue. What's in between? How about not shading the labor regions? Well, so PQ, I think I want to make sure I shade the labor regions so that, so you mean emphasizing that it's just the conservatives. That's a good idea. Yeah, so I could, yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, thank you for that. So which one do I want to remove? That one. Nope. Remove reference lines. And then the other one was 97. Okay, so now I can just focus on those. So those would show the labor government periods. Okay, that's good. And then PQ, what's your name, by the way? It can't be just PQ. Well, it could be, I guess. Why can I not think of what color is halfway between red and blue? Orange, green, yellow. What color is halfway between? Oh, color between blue and red. Magenta. Oh, okay. So I'm actually using a purple line. Yeah, I knew what I was doing all along. Philip. Okay. Hey, Philip. Right. So I think I'm going to stick with that. Okay. So let me just edit the axis down here. And I want to probably clean up my tooltip. So I want to have the year and the unemployment rate. And then the variance to the year. I think what I'll do here is I'll say something like, oops. Let's see, variance to, what's in my tooltip again? Year from set. Where's my color one? So I could probably do something similar to this. Okay, yeah, so I'm going to duplicate this. And then I want to say, let's see, let's call this our variance label for tooltip. So if that is 0, then I want to say, so that means there's nothing. So I want it just to be blank. Otherwise, I want it to be, I want it to say variance to, and then string year from set. Plus, oh, it's my dad again. I got to go in a minute. He's probably wondering why I'm not picking up. Okay, so now if I put this on the tooltip, and I could put this here. Sorry for all the noise. Okay, so what does that look like now? Okay, but I don't want... Oh, this is awful. I could say something like if let's see, I'm going to cancel that. Oh, of course, now my mouse dies. Come on. What the hell? Well, this is frozen. Okay. I think I need to get batteries. Battery change. Okay, there we go. So let's look at this one again. So, okay, if rated set equals 0. Okay, so okay, so now my tooltip looks better because now I don't see that that blank there. Okay, so let me change this then. Okay, so now when I hover over, I can see okay, so that's good. 8.1, variance 5.1%. Okay, but it shouldn't say variance to, it should say, what do we call it here? Percentage points variance. So where's my tooltip? There we go, percentage points variance to 1979. Okay, so that's good. You could have an additional band overlay of yellowish for 2010 to 2014. I think is Tory Lib Dem coalition, maybe. Yeah, I just so I decided to for 2010 to 2014, I decided to keep it as conservative because there was actually the leader was actually conservative. So if I look at 2010 to 2014, it was David Cameron who's conservative. So that's why I'm going to leave it as conservative. Okay, so I want to go back here and say, so let's bring this over here. The only chart that let's see, what could I say here? Okay. The only chart that I want to say something like the only chart that shows the Torries didn't screw up the economy. But that's not really what I want to say. Okay, so I need a better title though. Let me see. Metric instead of chart. The only metric that shows the Tories, the Tories economy in a good light. Maybe something like that. Do they say, is it Tory? I think it's just Tory. Okay, so what I'm going to do then is I'm going to show my caption. And the data source is, what is it? Data source ONS. Okay. So, what do they call it though? Do they call it maybe instead of government, or maybe I'll call it conservative. Okay, then I probably should maybe shade that in blue. Nope, that's too blue. Yeah, something like that. Okay. Oh, and I need to say, click a year to compare. Unclick to reset. Click off. Okay. Okay, so I think that'll do it. Oh, in a good light. Okay, thank you. Is it is it Torrie or how do you, is it Torrie or Torries? I don't know how to spell. I don't know what if it's Torry or Torie. Is it Torrie or Torries? Torrie. Okay. The plural is Torries. Okay. The Torrie economy. Okay. Very good. All right. What I'll do now is I need to just because I know people struggle with this bit. I just need to find my chart now. I think it's this one. I'm not going to worry about floating anything or whatever like I normally do, but I'm going to go ahead and delete that container. And the issue now is my actions no longer work. You see, nothing's working here. So I need to go up to my worksheet actions and show. I'm going to choose this sheet and then edit my highlight. And I'm going to, my source is that, and my target is the dashboard. And I think that will do that one. Nope. Worksheet actions, this sheet. This needs to be dashboard. Yep. I just need to switch it to a dashboard action. Okay, yep, that's working. And then worksheet actions, the sheet. And I need to make this also a dashboard action. Okay. There we go. And off we click. And I need to show my caption. And then let's resize this a bit. Get rid of the phone layout. Actually, the phone layout, maybe we can rotate the phone layout. So let's rotate it. And we want to set it to 375. The height would be 375. And let's reset the pin. And that should be okay. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this. And in the phone layout, I'm going to add a text box. And then this is going to have to be a smaller font. Let's make this maybe 14. And then this one I can hide the title. Okay, so then this should still work. So if somebody looks at this on the phone, it should still work. Okay, so that's good. Default. Okay, now this one, I want to make it, I don't think it should be quite so tall. I like them when they're a bit, you know, maybe something like that. Because we've got a long time period. Yeah, I think I like it like that. All right. Why don't you make any Udemy courses for Tableau from basic to advanced? So Jake, I actually do have a Tableau course. If you go to join.andykribel.com, I do have a course there, and you could join it. It's a membership program, so feel free to join. And let me bring up the link for you just so you have it. It is join.andykribel.com, and you can get all of the information there. All right. Thank you, everybody, very much. I hope you enjoyed that. I appreciate the feedback. I appreciate the feedback along the way as well. It's very helpful to get your opinion, and especially when I'm stuck. So thank you, everybody. Have a great rest of your week. Bye.